Oh, hi! Hey, I'm glad you guys stopped by. In this video, I want to show you how to create that cool, annoying orange effect using Photoshop and Final Cut Pro. Right, Pear? Yeah, whatever, dude. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my video tutorials. It's been a little while since I've done one of these tutorials because I've been really busy, but I figured if I didn't do a tutorial pretty soon, you would probably just forget about me. So I thought I would do something kind of special today. This is going to be a long tutorial. It's actually 2 videos. It runs like 22 minutes, but I'm going to recreate the annoying orange. The first part of the tutorial will involve using Photoshop. We're going to actually take a video clip from some source video that I shot, create a still image and move it into Photoshop, and then create a mask and then import the mask back into Final Cut Pro and use it to create the talking orange. This is a big subject and we're going to cover this really fast, but I'm going to make sure to try to take the time to explain everything thoroughly. So let's go ahead and get started. What I did was I took video clips of the orange and the pear, and then I tried as hard as I could to get video clips of my face talking and saying and doing some screwy stuff to be able to use to put in behind the mask to make it look like the orange is actually talking. And you'll see all that a little bit later, but right now we're going to deal with the background image or the main image, which will be the orange and the pear. Now, we're going to go ahead and drag this on the first layer in the timeline. Actually, I want to turn off the audio track real quick so I just get the video. And we'll drop the video track in here. And now let's go ahead and turn these back on because later on you'll be putting stuff in here and you want the audio. Now, what the plan was is that the orange would be sitting there by himself, and then when he said something to the pear, then the pear would come into the scene. So what we want to do is open this up once it's in the timeline, double click on it and get it into the viewer where we can make some changes to the scale and position to get the orange in the center. So the first thing I want to do is increase the size of the clip and drag it out until the orange is in there. Once we get this put in the position where it's going to be, it cannot be moved again from this point until the video is 100% complete. So what we're going to do now is put this back to being fit to Windows so it's full size. And we'll get it back open here. And we need to actually make a freeze frame or a still image of this to use in Photoshop to create a mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say File, Export, and I'm going to select Using QuickTime Conversion. And notice I have the timeline selected, not the viewer. You want to make sure that your timeline is selected to do this. And then I'm going to, from the drop-down menu here, select that I'm going to do, for format, a still image, and then I'll select my option tab, and it should be for a Photoshop document. And I want to name this Orange Mask. Alright, so we're ready to save it. I have it going to the right location, so say File, Save. Alright, now I want to open Photoshop and open this up. File, Open Orange Mask. And there it is. Ta-da! Alright, so the first thing I want to do is what we're going to, actually let me explain what we're going to do. We're going to make some cutouts in the orange so my mouth and my eyes will be peeking through the back, kind of like one of those things you see at an attraction or amusement park where you can stick your head through it and take pictures and it looks like you're part of it. We'll be kind of doing that same thing. So we're going to go ahead and highlight the entire orange with our circle highlight tool. We'll drag it so it's oval. And if you notice, we're not right on it on the left, so we'll come a little bit further on the right and then drag over it. And we're a little too big. So we're going to do Control click or right click in the center of the selection and select the Transform Selection tool. That way we can make it smaller. From the bottom, top, and maybe drag it out a little bit this way, just so you're taking up as much as the orange surface as you can. Then you can double click in the center and you should pretty well have the orange covered. Now, you're going to hold Control C and make a copy of the orange, and then you're going to say Control V and paste it. If you notice, in your layer palette, you've just created another layer that's just the orange. Let's select the background layer and add a new layer. And with the new layer, I want to use the paint bucket and paint it white. That way we have a nice matte behind the orange to work with so we can really see what we're doing. So let's name this matte. And then we'll name our top layer Orange Mask. All right. Now we can go to work and start doing the fun stuff. All right. Now what we want to do is take our circle selection tool again, and we're going to make a cutout where the mouth should be. Our orange is going to have a big mouth, and I'll show you how to do that. When we get into this, let's raise it up a little bit. And I'm going to transform it too. I want it to be a little bit taller. All right. Now, I want you to right click here, or control click if you don't have a right mouse button, and select feather. Now, I can get away with using my feather radius as 20 because of the size of this image. If you're using a smaller image or a smaller aspect ratio, or you're using standard definition, you might have to lower the radius of the feather, but I'm going to use 20 and you'll see what happens here. Okay, so we'll say OK, and then we're going to just hit the delete button. You have to make sure that you're on the orange mask layer when you delete. But look, now let's remove our matte for a minute, and you can see we've created a little cutout. Now, let's do it for the eyes the same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a circle for the eye. We want to turn it a little bit to the right, so we're going to use the transform tool again. And we'll just come up here and we're going to type 10. It's a positive 10. We'll hit return. And then we can double click in the center, right click or control click, and then select feather. And I'm going to select 20 again, and I'll hit delete. Now, we don't want to disturb the selection. We leave it just like it is and just move it. And then we're going to select the Transform Selection tool again. Now, if you notice, our little angle thing is back at 0, so we would have to go to -10 just to get it level again. And then we would have to go to -20 to get it to turn the same angle to the other side. Once you've done that a couple times, you'll know exactly what I was talking about there. So now, because it's already set to feather and everything, all we have to do is hit delete. So let's move that out of the way and take a look. That looks pretty much like what I was going to try to do here. So let's get rid of the selection. You can just select anywhere and it's gone. Now we're going to just go ahead and save it. Let's save it as a copy or give it another name. I'm going to put Orange Mask Final. And we'll save it in the same location. Voila.